Welcome back to USA Car Reviews, the channel where we dive deep into America's most iconic rides, cars that shape the roads, the culture, and the passion of automotive history. Today, we're taking you back to a time when the automobile wasn't just transportation, it was a statement of style, progress, and ingenuity. We're talking about the 1932 Chevrolet Coupe two-door, a car that helped define the early years of Chevrolet's dominance and became a true classic for collectors and hot rodders alike. The early 1930s were some of the toughest years in America. The Great Depression had taken hold, jobs were scarce, money was tight, and families were doing everything they could to make ends meet. Yet even in those challenging times, Chevrolet knew that people still wanted a car that could deliver not just reliability, but also pride of ownership. That's where the 1932 Chevrolet Coupe came in. At a time when owning a car was still a luxury for many, Chevrolet designed a vehicle that combined affordability, durability, and a sense of style that stood out on the street. The 1932 Chevrolet Coupe two-door was part of the Series BA Confederate lineup, replacing the earlier Independence series. Right away, it was clear that Chevrolet was pushing forward with new engineering and design choices that would set it apart from its main competitor, Ford. One of the biggest advantages Chevrolet had at this time was their use of a six-cylinder engine, known affectionately as the Stovebolt 6. While Ford was still relying on four-cylinder engines in its most basic models, Chevrolet gave buyers more power, more torque, and smoother driving with their inline six. That engine, a 194 cubic inch six-cylinder, produced around 60 horsepower, which was a respectable number for the era and more than enough to give drivers confidence on open roads. Now, let's talk about the looks of the 1932 Coupe. This car had classic proportions with a long hood, upright grille, and a short, stylish cabin. The two-door coupe body style in particular carried a sporty charm. It was compact yet elegant, perfect for the single young professional, the small family, or anyone who wanted a car that looked more expensive than it really was. With sweeping fenders, a low roofline, and that signature Chevrolet grille design, the coupe had real presence. Even today, when you see one restored or customized at a car show, you can't help but admire the balance of simplicity and beauty in its design. The interior of the 1932 Chevrolet Coupe reflected the needs of the time. It wasn't overly luxurious, but it was comfortable and well thought out. Upholstery was durable, the dashboard was functional, and visibility was excellent thanks to its upright windshield and big windows. It was a car that felt practical but also had a touch of refinement. For many families in 1932, stepping into this Chevrolet felt like a step up in the world. Chevrolet priced the coupe to be within reach of the average buyer. At around $500 to $600 depending on the trim and options, it was affordable while still offering a lot of value. That was one of the reasons Chevrolet outsold Ford during this era. People wanted a reliable car that didn't feel bare bones, and Chevrolet delivered exactly that. Another aspect that made the 1932 Coupe special is its legacy in the hot rodding world. While Ford's 32 models often get more attention because of the V8, Chevrolet's Coupe has been cherished by enthusiasts who wanted something different. Over the years, many of these coupes have been turned into hot rods, drag racers, and custom builds, showing the versatility of the design. Whether stock or modified, the 1932 Chevrolet Coupe has a presence that never fades. Driving one of these cars today is like stepping back in time. The six-cylinder engine fires up with a distinctive sound, and while 60 horsepower doesn't sound like much by modern standards, it was more than enough in an era where speed limits were low and roads weren't built for high speeds anyway. The manual transmission required skill, the steering was heavy by today's standards, and the suspension was simple, but that's part of the charm. It gave drivers a real connection to the road, a mechanical feel that modern cars can't replicate. From a historical perspective, the 1932 Chevrolet Coupe also marks a turning point. This was the year Chevrolet began to solidify its reputation as the car for everyday Americans, while still offering more refinement and performance than some of its rivals. In fact, this was one of the cars that helped Chevrolet maintain its edge in sales and eventually grow into one of the biggest names in the automotive world. Today, if you want to own a 1932 Chevrolet Coupe, you're looking at a true collector's car. Restored examples can fetch anywhere from $20,000 for a decent driver to well over $50,000 for show-quality restorations. Customized hot rods can go even higher depending on the build. For many enthusiasts, though, it's not about the value, it's about the pride of owning a piece of American history, something that represents resilience, craftsmanship, and timeless style. When you look at the 1932 Chevrolet Coupe two-door, you see more than just a car. You see a snapshot of America in the early 30s. You see a company that understood the struggles of everyday people but also believed that everyone deserved to drive something they could be proud of. You see the foundation of Chevrolet's long-standing slogan, "A car for every person purpose." So whether you admire it as a beautifully restored classic, a raw hot rod tearing up the drag strip, or simply as a reminder of how far the automobile has come, the 1932 Chevrolet Coupe two-door is a legend in its own right. It may not always get the same spotlight as its Ford counterpart, but make no mistake, this car left its mark on automotive history. That wraps up today's review on the 1932 Chevrolet Coupe two-door. Here at USA Car Reviews, we celebrate cars that tell a story, and this one tells a story of perseverance, style, and the beginning of Chevrolet's unstoppable rise. If you enjoyed this deep dive into an American classic, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more timeless car reviews, and let us know in the comments what you think about the 32 Chevy Coupe. Would you keep it original, or would you turn it into a hot rod? Thanks for watching, and as always, keep your engines running and your passion alive with USA Car Reviews.